Love begins with a longing, a desire not just for companionship, but for connection. It is not merely about having someone beside you, but about being seen and understood. From the moment we are born, we are thrust into a world that demands separation. Our bodies define boundaries. Our thoughts, private and unspoken, isolate us. Yet beneath that separateness lies a yearning for unity, a hunger to dissolve the distance between self and other. This search for connection often manifests as romance, but its roots are far deeper. It can be found in the gentle silence between two friends, in the grief we feel when someone leaves, and in the invisible bond we carry for those we haven't met yet, but somehow already understand. Love, in its purest form, is the attempt to bridge the illusion of separateness. And yet, most of us chase love as though it's something to be acquired. We swipe, we search, we sculpt ourselves to appear lovable. But rarely do we pause to ask what love truly is. Is it possession? Is it desire? Or is it something more subtle, something sacred? One of the most profound truths about love is that it reflects who we are, the people we are drawn to, the dynamics we find ourselves in. These are not random. They are mirrors. Every emotional high, every devastating heartbreak, every frustrating pattern is an opportunity to see ourselves more clearly. In the presence of love, we often feel vulnerable, and that's because love doesn't just comfort, it exposes. It shows us where we hold wounds, where we seek validation, where we have yet to accept ourselves. We may think we are falling in love with another person, but often we are confronting the parts of ourselves that remain unresolved. To truly love another is to witness their essence without the urge to change it. And to be truly loved is to be held as you are, even in your rawest, most unpolished form. But before that can happen, we must learn to see ourselves clearly. Love asks us to sit with the mirror, no matter how uncomfortable the reflection may be. We are taught to believe that love will complete us, that somewhere out there is a missing piece, a soulmate, a perfect match who will fill our empty spaces. This story is beautiful, but it is also dangerous, because the moment we believe we are incomplete, we begin searching outside of ourselves for wholeness. True love doesn't complete you. It reminds you that you were never broken. It is not the missing half of your soul. It is the recognition of your soul in another. It's not about becoming whole through someone else, but about two whole beings walking beside each other, witnessing and supporting each other's journey. The idea that someone else will fix us can lead to dependency, heartbreak, and disappointment. But when we realize that love is not about completion, but about companionship, we free ourselves from the illusion. Love then becomes something not to possess, but to experience. Many people confuse love with attachment. Attachment says, I need you so I can be okay. Love says, I want the best for you, even if I'm not a part of it. The difference between the two is subtle, but it's everything. Attachment is rooted in fear. The fear of being alone, the fear of losing something, the fear of change. It clings, it demands, it tries to control. Love, on the other hand, is spacious. It allows, it releases, it honors the freedom of the other, because it's not based on need, it's based on presence. This is perhaps one of the hardest truths about love. To love someone deeply means to let go of the need to possess them, to accept that they are not yours and never were, that they are a living, breathing being on their own path, and your love is a light, not a leash. This kind of love can feel almost unbearable in its purity. It asks us to let go of ego, to risk being hurt, to give without guarantee. But it is in this surrender that we find a love that is not just passionate, but sacred. Love doesn't operate within the boundaries of time. Some people we meet for just a moment, and it changes us forever. Others stay for years but leave no mark. Love has its own clock, its own rhythm. It doesn't care for logic or timelines or expectations. This is why we find ourselves thinking about someone we met only once, or why an old memory still makes our chest ache. Love is not bound to duration. It is bound to depth. And sometimes the deepest connections are the briefest ones. We try to make love follow a schedule: meet, date, marry, stay forever. But love often defies this. It teaches us through presence, through intensity, through loss. Sometimes its purpose isn't to stay, but to awaken something dormant within us. When we stop measuring love by how long it lasts and start asking what it showed us, we begin to see love everywhere, in the fleeting, in the forgotten, in the fragile. Love isn't just an emotion, it's a path, a practice, a way of being in the world that requires intention, attention, and surrender. It calls us to soften when we want to protect ourselves, to listen when we want to speak, to understand when we want to be understood. True love is not passive. It's an active process of becoming more open, more vulnerable, more forgiving, more present. It's not about always feeling good. It's about always returning to presence, even when things feel uncertain. Loving someone deeply means holding space for their growth, their fears, their wounds, and not turning away. It means recognizing the divine in them, even when they can't see it themselves. And in practicing this kind of love, we transform not just our relationships, but our very way of existing. Love becomes not something we do, but something we are. A lens through which we experience the world. A presence we carry into every moment. Why do we long for love so deeply? Why do we crave connection so fiercely, even when it hurts us? At the core of this longing is a desire to remember something we've forgotten, something ancient. Love, in its purest form, feels like coming home. It reminds us of a place we once belonged before we were separated by skin, ego, and identity. Some philosophers and mystics believe that love is the force that pulls the soul toward unity, toward the dissolving of separation. In that sense, we don't just want a partner. We want to remember what it feels like to be whole. We want to be seen so completely that we forget the illusion of isolation. But here's the catch. No one can complete us. No one can give us what we have not already found within. And yet, we search. And through that search, we slowly learn that love is not something we get. It's something we uncover, something we return to. Every person we love holds up a mirror. Through them, we see both our beauty and our wounds. Love reveals everything. It shows us the places where we still cling, where we still fear, where we still haven't healed. And if we're willing, it also shows us the places where we are most alive. When we fall in love, we aren't just seeing the other person. We're seeing the reflection of a part of ourselves we want to reclaim. This is why love can feel like ecstasy and heartbreak at the same time. It's a mirror that reveals not just the other, but the soul behind our own eyes. This is why relationships are some of the most powerful spiritual teachers we have. They bring our unconscious patterns to the surface. They break us open. They teach us how to hold space, how to stay, how to forgive, and sometimes how to let go. And in the process, we become more than we were before. Not because someone fixed us, but because love made us aware of who we already were. Most of what we think love is, isn't. We've been conditioned to believe in love stories that revolve around possession, sacrifice, drama, and dependency. But this is not love. It's a performance of love, built on fear and fantasy. Real love is quiet. It doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it arrives as a gentle presence, a stillness, a comfort so deep you forget the need to be anyone but yourself. It's not about being completed, but about being mirrored. Not about finding your other half, but recognizing the wholeness in yourself and in the other. To love, truly love, we have to unlearn. We have to question the stories we were told. We have to release the myths that say love must hurt, must save us, must fit into a box. Real love is too wild for boxes. It is too sacred for scripts. And maybe that's why it's so hard to find. Because we're not really taught how to recognize it when it's right in front of us. Love, true love, isn't something we possess, chase, or perfect. It's a process of dissolving boundaries, of remembering our shared essence beneath all appearances. Every connection, every ache, every moment of tenderness or longing points us back to a deeper truth, that at the core of existence is a kind of unity, a sacred intimacy with all things. When we stop trying to own love or force it into rigid forms, we begin to see it everywhere, in the smallest gestures, in silence, in stillness. We begin to recognize that love is not just a relationship between two people, but a mirror held up to the soul, asking, can you see yourself clearly now? Can you accept what is reflected back? The greatest love story might not be between two people, but between you and the present moment, between your ego and your essence, between illusion and awakening. So let love change you. Let it break and rebuild you. Let it open your eyes, not just to another, but to the truth you've carried all along.